Hey guys, so God has been putting this message on my heart recently, and it's trusting God. Now, trust is hard for us, especially when we feel like we're not in control. As humans, we like to feel like we are in control. We like to plan things out, know what's happening, know what's going to happen. We don't like the unexpected, and when life throws a curveball at us, we freak out because we feel like we're not in control anymore, and we get filled with anxiety and fear, and we forget about our truth and hope. And the truth is, we have zero control over anything in our life. Only one person has full control, and that's God, and he never doesn't have control. Even in this time of uncertainty, God has full control. He has a plan. He knows how this is going to turn out, and he knows the past, present, and future. And even in what seems like the darkest times of our life, he has a plan, and he's sitting right next to you, and he's talking words of hope over you, and he's just asking you to trust him, and he's telling you to give all your pain to him because he can pull good out of any situation. We just have to trust him. Sometimes God will call us to do something that we're not fully comfortable with, but we just have to trust him and know that he's not going to give us any more than we can handle. And there's actually a good Bible story to go with this. It's in Acts 9. Now, for some background on this, there's this man named Saul. Now, Saul, he wanted to persecute the church, and he wanted to arrest Christians. And for a good look at his personality, I'm going to read Acts 8, 1 and 3. And there arose on that day a great persecution against the church in Jerusalem, and they were all scattered throughout the regions of Judea and Samaria, except the apostles. But Saul was ravaging in the church, entering house after house, and he dragged off men and women and committed them to prison. Okay, so now let's flash forward to Acts 9, 1 through 3b. But Saul, still breathing threats and murder against the disciples of the Lord, went to the high priest and asked him for letters to the synagogues at Damascus, so that if he found any belonging to the way, men or women, he might bound them to Jerusalem. Now as he went on his way, so Saul wanted an arrest warrant to Damascus so he could arrest any Christians who were living there. But on his way, God actually speaks to Saul, and this is in Acts 9, 3b through 6. He approached Damascus, and suddenly a light from heaven shone around him, and falling to the ground he heard a voice saying to him, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? And he said, Who are you, Lord? And he said, I am Jesus, whom you are persecuting. But rise and enter the city, and you will be told what you are to do. Jesus tells Saul, who is now blind, to go into the city and wait for further instruction. So the people around Saul lead him into the city, where he doesn't eat or drink for 3 days. In Damascus, there was a Christian man named Ananias who gets a vision from God in Acts 10b through 16. The Lord said to him in a vision, Ananias, he said, Here I am, Lord. And the Lord said to him, Rise and go to the street called Straight, in the house of Judas, for a man of Tarsus named Saul. For behold, he is praying. He has seen a vision of a man named Ananias come in and lay his hands on him so he may regain his sight. But Ananias answered, Lord, I have heard from many about this man, how much evil he has done to your saints at Jerusalem. And here he has the authority from the chief priest to bind all who call on your name. But the Lord said to him, Go, for he is a chosen instrument of mine to carry my name before the Gentiles and kings and the judgment of Israel. For I will show him how much he must suffer for the sake of my name. Even though Ananias is scared of what might happen to him, he trusts God and goes anyway. And once he arrives, he lays his hand on Saul, and Saul regains his sight, and he gets up and goes and gets baptized. This is a great example of trust, because Ananias trusted God with his whole life. I bet he was filled with anxiety going to the house of Judas, just like we're filled with anxiety and when we're in a situation where we don't know what the outcome is going to be. And that's why I think we need to change our perspective and know that God is in full control. The God that is fighting for you and sent his son to die for your sins is in full control. So why wouldn't we trust the all-powerful God, the one that's in full control, the one that sent his son to die for his sins, and the one that is fighting for you? Okay, that's all I have.
No, it's not enough.